I'm sincerely begging you guys not to dupe me tonight.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atropic chokitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go. Let's go.
I got auto matched with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust out AP, cold spot bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
This is a pretty good bit, honestly. But just know that I can fight back with a better bit and start 20 minutes late. So just be careful with these bits. Think through kind of the end game for these bits, because I will win a bit war with you, Justin. Trust me on that one. How are we doing? We have GMs. I am happy to report we have a pretty nice captain play tonight as I'm seeing things. The Sims very much like a grown-ass man named Mr. DK Metcalf. Always nice when the Sims like the players we like as well. Nice when that lines up. We'll talk about it. We'll run the Sims here tonight. How are we doing? I'm trying these out. My wife's work gave them these really nice headphones, and she's like, I'm not going to use these. And so I'm trying out the kind of Bluetooth headphone life. I don't know if I like it. Oh, wow. Just even taking them off and just hearing how much more I can hear myself talk is weird, but we're giving it a shot. All right. What is life if not, for experimentation with headphones? Do not tell me I was late, Connor. I was right on time. Actually, I was probably like 6 seconds late, honestly. James says I was one of the 2.5% who played Lenny in the Deposit Kingdom and didn't cash. You played Lenny and didn't cash? How is that possible, James? That is truly impressive. But this is a forward-thinking show. We are on to the Showdown slate. And it is true. We absolutely love the Sims. Let's get right into it. We will waste nobody's time. Showdown, single, DraftKings, Seattle versus Washington. We have a 47-point team total here, or a 47-point over-under, rather. Washington is a 1-point home underdog. Gives Seattle a 23-point implied team total. Washington, 24 implied team total here. You'll notice that Washington has been playing with a pretty good pace, 65% rush rate at 45%. And Seattle has actually been a little bit more pass heavy. And I know they've been pretty disappointing since Russ came back from his injury, but this does feel like a potential get right spot. Washington has been pretty bad against the pass. So that's kind of what we're working with in the baseline Sims. We can run it here and see what the Sims are cooking up for us tonight. I should also mention here, I saw Justin Freeman in the Run the Sims Discord shared this tweet where he said, Ron Rivera just said on ESPN, he's hoping Logan Thomas will play 30 to 35 snaps, and for Curtis Samuel, 15 to 20 snaps. So both of those guys back tonight after extended absences, but it would appear that those guys are going to be on a pitch count. I never know how to interpret that stuff too much. I mean, there's so many times where we've heard the pitch count phrasing and then the guy plays all the snaps or none of the snaps. So I don't know. But I think obviously on Showdown, the margins are super thin, and taking that stuff into consideration makes sense. And it sounds like Justin has adjusted the projection inputs accordingly based on that news. So right out of the gate here, you see we have a massive captain favorite here in DK Metcalf. He's showing up in our Sims almost a quarter of the time. And even though he's going to be the most popular captain here at 16%, we're still pretty nice overweight on that ownership with how frequently he's showing up in the captain spot. So this is one of those interesting spots where you're not necessarily getting unique with DK Metcalf, but the Sims are very much backing up this being one of the best plays. He's clearly underpriced. There's no reason he should be this much cheaper than Tyler Lockett. and in a really good spot here. So DK Metcalf is the king, the captain of the Sims, and he's not going to be sneaky. Like I said, 16% captain ownership, but still looking like a really good play here. I would say it stands out that Heineke is showing up in almost 20% of lineups. I think he's, far less likely to get clicked on by the field. I don't think the field is as excited to play Heineke. I mean, looking at some other ownership, I'm seeing Russell Wilson, McLaurin, Lockett, and potentially even Gibson as being more popular than Heineke. So that's another nice captain for you. DK Metcalf and Heineke kind of pulling away there. And then it's a little flat after that. Russ Wilson at 12%, McLaurin at 8.5, Lockett 8.7. And those look like your kind of condensed best caption options relative to the Sims there. So that checks out to me intuitively. As far as flex plays that looked interesting to me, DJ Dallas, he's showing up in our Sims 31% of the time. And I'm seeing an average ownership on him around the industry around 20%. So 10% more likely to appear in our simulated winning lineups than he's being rostered according to ownership projections. Another guy that looks pretty decent to me is Freddie Swain. He is appearing in the sim 21.3 or up to 22.8% of the time here. And I'm seeing around 12% ownership for him. So DJ Dallas, Freddie Swain look pretty good. Starting to get a little more narrow here, but I will mention JD McKissick as well. JD McKissick showing up in the Sims around 25% of the time. And I'm seeing a flex ownership for JD McKissick around 18%. So those look like the best flex plays to me. DJ Dallas, Freddie Swain, JD McKissick. As usual, the players who don't look great to me in the Sims relative to ownership are the kickers, and who barely appear in our Sims, or at least not near as often as they're being rostered. Joey Sly down here at 7.3%. And who's our other kicker here? Jason Myers at 8.5%. They're going to be much more popular than that, as you can see here with our flex own. I'm trying to think here. What else? We mentioned the Logan Thomas situation. I do think the field is probably going to be way more interested in playing him with him coming back at 4,800. You see here only showing up in our Sims 8.3% of the time, and he's going to have a much higher flex ownership than that. So Logan Thomas just kind of has that name brand equity, I think, and people feel pretty comfortable about him. But if we are going to trust that report from Ron Rivera about him being on a snap count, then he does look like a bit more fragile of a play. Paul asks here, what does DK and Lockett same lineup look like? Well, we can check out some of the custom lineups. I'm sure that most of those will include Russell Wilson as well. So right out of the gate here, and let me extend this so we can see product own. And let me zoom in maybe a little, although now I can't see product own. So that was counterproductive. Hopefully you guys can see this on your screen, but to answer your question, Paul, you definitely see some DK Metcalf with Tyler Lockett lineups, and those also include Russ. I bet it would be hard to find a DK Metcalf lineup with Tyler Lockett that didn't include Russ. You can see some here. Here's one that has all three of the main Seattle pass catchers with a Terry McLaurin and Adam Humphries bring back. So yeah, Lockett appearing less frequently in these lineups than DK Metcalf, primarily because of pricing. But again, you do see a decent amount of Lockett with DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson. Caleb asks, I'm trying the 20 max life tonight. What kind of captain percentage for DK is too much? So that's just all your own kind of risk tolerance thing. I know some of our GPP bros in the Run the Sims channel and the Deposit Kingdom Discord, they've been having fun hammering that leverage and running 20 of the same captain. I end up not doing that more because I'm playing the super big $3 and $1 20 maxes with like 150,000. So I'm more worried about duplication than I am, getting leverage on a specific captain. So it all depends on kind of your specific playing style and the contests you are playing. But in general, I love that kind of approach, right? Like when you are right and DK Metcalf is the best play on the slate, you want to get as many possible combinations as him. It'll also open you up to more variance because there are going to be plenty of slates where he is not the optimal captain. And as long as you're willing to not get anything back on those nights, I think it's fine to do. So if you want to talk about it more in the Discord, I see you're a member here. Feel free to chat. I know Corey has been doing that with some success this year. Happy to talk that through with you. Joe Holka trolling me for not having a mic volume going into your headphones. I know, I'm a new man. I don't know if I like it yet. We will see. I'm sure the first time my Bluetooth headphones die on stream, I will have a meltdown and never go back. But for now, we are trying it. Let's see here. Nick says, so it looks like a 4-2 Seahawks stack looks nice. You think Heineke with only JD is fine. He spreads the ball and runs. Yeah. So we can see here. And again, as I always say, we can go and start to mess with some of the inputs and see what different sim results look like. These are for our baseline inputs, basically assuming if the game goes how Vegas projects it to go. We are seeing 3 threes at the top, 4-2 Seattle, 4-2 Seattle, 4-2 Seattle. So yeah, lots of 4-2s in favor of Seattle. Here's an interesting one, a 5-1 with Heineke and the Washington football defense in there. And again, the beauty of the Sims here is how much, narrative and intuitive sense some of these lineups make. You could certainly see a game where the Washington football team really controls this and DK Metcalf is the only player on Seattle who is able to sniff an optimal lineup. But yeah, for the most part in this scenario, am seeing a lot of 4-2s. And to answer your question, Nick, I don't think playing just Heineke and McKissick together is bad. You probably need a Heineke rushing TD, and you probably need Heineke throwing to JD McKissick for another TD. So I think that could certainly work out here. Is it a Master Bates week with Thomas on the snap count? Yeah, that's an interesting one. Where is Master Bates showing up here in our Sims? John Bates, 3,600, 8.2% flex, and only 1% flex zone. Let me make sure that checks out here in my aggregated ownership as well. Where are you, Master Bates? Yeah, he looks like a pretty good play to me. I'm seeing around 4 to 5% flex ownership, and he's showing up here in our Sims around 9%. So that seems like a play you could lean into if your thesis is Logan Thomas is not ready to play a full complement of snaps. More likely to go for 30, Lockett or McLaurin? I would say more likely is McLaurin, just because I feel like his target volume is safer to project than Lockett's. But yeah, it's interesting because McLaurin probably it's more likely. I guess it also has to depend with where you're at on this Seahawks offense, because right now the version of this Seahawks offense does not look like it can support a 30-point game from either Lockett or Metcalf. So if you do think they rebound here, that Russ is, kicking off the rust, then I can definitely see it with Lockett. But yeah, probably McLaurin. He just is going to be such a target hog in that offense. That's right. Please don't dupe me, bro. Can't see it on the camera. I am wearing my long sleeve don't dupe me, bro shirt. Also have this in hoodie form. I have discounts in the Run the Sims channel. If you guys are a member in there, you can get 15% off. Feel free to hit me up if for some reason you guys have not seen that discount code in there. Get your merch ready here for the holidays. Oh yeah, we'll talk to you in the Discord. Crackle Lackle. Would you be comfortable with Scary Terry without Heineke? Sure. I think there's certainly scenarios. Let's see if we can find like a 5-1 here with Seattle. Here's a 5-1 that has Antonio Gibson coming back. Let's see here. Now I'm going to see if I can find one after I said sure. Here's obviously a 4-2 that includes Heineke and McLaurin. Because he's such a big part of their passing game, though, I think there are definitely scenarios where he has a really good, PPR day and Heineke isn't in there. Although as I scroll through these top lineups, the most frequented lineups, I haven't seen a Terry McLaurin without a Taylor Heineke, but I don't necessarily think that's bad overall. I could definitely see that making sense in certain scenarios. All right, let's see here. I've been going mostly 4-2 Washington. Yeah, I mean, I assume the most popular construction tonight is going to be either 3-3 or 4-2 Washington. That would just be my guess. But I think if you want to get really unique tonight, as usual, the 5-1s and the 1-5s are the way to go because it's such a tight spread. I don't see the field, being too heavy on either side. I assume we'll see a lot of 2-4, 3-3, 4-2, and 1-5 and 5-1 is going to probably be the way, as usual, to get pretty unique here. I don't even have a new cam. I just I adjusted my settings. Jordan, who I did a show with in Holka, knows Jordan as well, and he helps us out with our setup, and he got my camera settings squared away. So looking a little crispier these days, which is nice. Where's D? Yeah. D Eskridge, D's nuts down here, appearing in 8% of our lineups. And we can go check the inputs here to see how we are projecting this split between Freddie Swain and D Eskridge. So market share of receiving yards, we have 9% for Freddie Swain, 4% for D Eskridge, 11.2%, and 2.8. But this would be one of those classic kind of fragile situations where you could certainly flip that. And on a showdown slate, right? Like this is going to be so touchdown dependent. Like who is the third wide receiver, that binks the touchdown here. So I could see you manually adjusting these a bit if you want. And we can do that right now. Like what if we just switch it? We go 4%, 9%, 2.8, 11.2. We'll see just how fragile this is. We'll leave their catch rates, whatever. And then we can run the sims and we'll see how much D we get in this scenario. D Eskridge, see, yeah, he pops up all the way to 28%. So again, I know we talk about this a lot, but it's a good reminder about how fragile some of these inputs are. So D Eskridge in that scenario, he goes from, appearing in 8% all the way up to 28%. And his average ownership is going to be around 4%. I'm seeing really low across a few different ownership projection sets. So D Eskridge, again, if your thesis is the rookie is going to kind of come back right away and take, Freddie Swain's job, I think that's a pretty decent IKB play if you'd like to make it. D Virgin over D Eskridge. I'm still recovering from a burn that A Raven made on Twitter. He said I got a tryout for the Dolphins today and that my name was D Virgin. I think he's just salty because I told Leone to play Cordell Patterson in his Thunderdome lineup, and then he beat A Raven to win the Thunderdome. So I deserved the Virgin joke. One of these days I will have a kid to prove to the haters that I had sex once, though. Double D optimal. So this is fun. And normally it's Mathology in here asking about the double Ds, but I was running some sims where it's a super gross game. I just basically played it as like, what if Seattle wins 14, not 140? That would be fun. 14. God damn it, Peter. Can you type? Come on. Wow, now I'm tilting. 14 to, let's just say 14 to 10. And then let's lower the pace down for these teams. We'll boost the rush rate up a little bit and we'll lower the pace. So basically just playing this as a classic island gross game here. And I can show you some double Ds if you'd like, because this scenario will bring out the double Ds. We have Washington football team at 30% in this scenario, Seattle Seahawks at 35%. And all of a sudden they are pretty much double their projected ownership. I'm seeing around 15% average ownership for Washington football team. And I'm seeing around 14% for Seahawks. So if you play this as a super low scoring gross game where everything slows down, it makes sense that you are going to get a lot of the double Ds. You can see here the most frequented lineup in this scenario is a 5-1 Seattle onslaught, but that also includes the Washington football team here, and tons of double D's littered here at the top. Actually, no, did I misspoke? Okay, here's one. Washington football, Seattle, Washington football, Seattle. So for all the double D aficionados, of which there are many, you can certainly bully the Sims to get those to show up. Yeah, I mean, this is just a pricing thing here on the 2K difference. The interesting thing is I feel like generally in those scenarios when there's a weird 2K, discrepancy on players whose projection maybe isn't that disparate, is that the cheaper guy gets owned at a higher clip. But at least in the projections I'm looking at, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing Swain at around 12% and D around 4%. So definitely makes sense. Not only do you get more salary relief in the form of D, but you also pick up a more unique lineup based on those ownership projections. Look at this matchmaker, GPP bro matchmaker. Brandon found Mathology found another friend to talk about double D's with. Double D. Now double D could mean double defenses, double D Eskridge. Who knows? Who knows? Look at this. We are devolving into a bunch of 12-year-old boys. Masturbates D's nuts on double D's has to be the optimal tonight. Well done. And seen. I should just end the show on that, honestly. Don't take this the wrong way because your advice is great, but what would Leone run tonight? And we're at the point of the year that it's not what would Jesus do? It's what would Leone do? I have no fucking clue what Leone would do. I don't even think Leone plays Showdown these days. He has to decompress. He's too busy swimming in all of his main slate Thunderdome winnings. I legitimately don't know what Leone would do. Believe it or not, he does not just ping me his Showdown lineups at night. Kyle says, I find that I choose my lineup based on the game I want to see, not the game I'm most likely to see. Yeah, there's definitely a term called fantasy wanting. I would say a very good example of that yesterday would have been Javonte Williams. Everyone in the fantasy community very much wants Javonte Williams to take over, become the bell cow back, get 20 plus touches a game, but it is just not happening. Like, he's still produced because he's really good and he's highly efficient, but sometimes what we want to happen is not what is actually going to happen. And that's why the Sims are beautiful, right? Because you can run them and you can let the math show you what the most likely scenarios are. And you can decide to either bully them and say, I am going to create my own realities, or you can lean into the Sims, which have been absolutely on fire of late. I should mention those of you who watched either of my shows yesterday before the main slate lock or on the lineup review, Cordero Patterson was the #1 most frequented player in our main slate slims. He was appearing in, I think it was almost 25%, maybe even a little higher. And of course, he was not being played by the field at near that rate. Was an absolute smash play. So if you guys have not signed up for Run the Sims, I can't recommend it enough. There are plenty of testimonials within the Run the Sims channel in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. It has been an incredible way to attack both Showdown and main slate strategies this year. I would not align myself with a product I didn't trust and didn't value, and have been extremely pleased with how well the Sims have done this year. So shout out to RTS, shout out to Justin Freeman and the tools over there. It's been awesome this season. Let's see here. What else am I reading? I don't think I'm going to put that on a shirt. I don't think I'm going to put that on a shirt. Alex says he got 391st in the Deposit Kingdoms and can only go up tonight. That's right. Started at the bottom and now we're here. What would Leone do? Yeah, I can see if my distributor has WWLD bracelets. Nick says, I am working my ass off to try to get Diami out of my lineups. It's just not happening. What is he showing up? I have to go back. I'll go to my spreadsheet so I don't have to undo this. Diami Brown. Seeing, why is he showing up in so many of your lineups? I'm only seeing him in 3% of our Sims. Did he pop up more since I initially ran it? Let's see. Wow, you guys just really want this to turn into an ETR show. My flag plant is Russell Wilson or Taylor Heineke at captain. That's my flag plant, and include DJ Dallas in the lineup. Those are my flag plants. And by my flag plants, I mean I come and read the Sims to you. Those are the Sims flag plants. Where's Diami? Yeah, see, Diami, how are you getting so much Diami in your lineups? I'm seeing 2% in our simulated lineups. Yeah, get him out of there. Get him out of there. It's pretty crowded now with DeAndre Carter, Curtis Samuel, Humphreys, all those guys. Who would Dink flag plant? I'm sick of these questions. Go ask Dink. Go ask Dink. I'm not here to relay. I am here to relay the Sims to you, not the established, the million bros GPP thoughts. Iceman doesn't want me to dupe a DK Metcalf captain, DJ Dallas, D, Eskridge. Oh, I forgot we have DJ Dallas. So double Ds could truly mean DJ Dallas and D Eskridge, Washington D, Seattle D. This is the double D's nuts lineup. Well done there. I am the Joseph Smith of the Sims. Let's not make that a thing. Yeah, Leone's super scared of Showdown. He can't handle it. He absolutely can't handle it. All right, guys. Good luck tonight. We have an 8:15 start. I'm going to go double check and make sure I have enough double Ds in my lineups. If you guys want to hop in the Discord, send me a screenshot of your Run the Sims subscription on Discord or Twitter. I'll add you to the Run the Sims channel in the Discord, or you can become a YouTube member on the Run the Sims OptoBro Hand Builder tier, and it'll unlock with your YouTube account. Good luck tonight. Send me those screenshots when you ship those GPPs.